Well, I've looked at some of these before. I think I saw that one before. Let me see. Ghosts of Mississippi. They're not very good. Somehow popular. But I am going to find another video to respond to, and I shall respond to it momentarily. First things first, I don't want to steal any of the audio or video from, what's it, Tomo News US. It's a compilation of ghost-like stories, and it's actually up pictures, I think, and ghost stories. Real life. This image you can see in the top right. Sorry about the quality of the image. But yeah, there's this guy here who looks a bit like Coney. You know, like from the whole Coney 2012, some of the images circulated then of the rebel fighter who's probably dead. But basically, yeah. This kid takes a selfie, gets that in the background. Supposedly this is original, not tampered with. But it does look a bit like it could have just been edited in. The way it's blended into the background. I don't know, maybe a person was passing by. Okay, for argument's sake, maybe Coney was passing by. Maybe some other guy. Possibly black, it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, the argument is, this is proof of a ghost. And it looks like, well, I'm not too sure. Maybe if you ask the original person, they'd say, oh, no, it's real, you know, there's no trickery going on. It kind of blends in partially to the background, but not enough. You see, because like where the shoulders appear to be, which could be something he's moving, I suppose. Maybe not. It looks a lot like a person. I reckon it's probably a fake and an intentional one. But what do I know? Surely someone's going to come along and say, hey, why didn't you watch the rest of this video? Or watch, you know, someone like, perhaps they've got the original person who's got this image, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of these things are poorly supported. And it's like, oh, well, what does that fall into? Probable fake, technically unexplained. Do I know it's fake? No. Do I know it's some kind of mistake or coincidence? I don't think it would fit into coincidence. Surely it can't be that obvious. But no. Basically, it is something which shouldn't be there and probably is put in there by the people who, well, uploaded the image. Maybe not the original person. I don't know if this kid, this girl with the braces, was the original person or not. But interesting, though. Interesting. For the YouTube channel Tomo News US, basically did mention that a lot of people have a lot of opinions. Some people believe in ethereal beings, and some people are more critical. But anyway, here's the actual image, full blown. And it doesn't look so convincing there. It does look like shoehorned into the background. Like a person posing for a picture. And you could basically put that there, semi-transparent, bring it out with several tools, sharpening tools, you know, merging it with the background as well. And you can bring out that kind of image quite easily if you were intending to fake it. I'm not saying that the person who originally uploaded the picture did, but they probably did. Anyway, we'll move on to one of the usual compilations I've been following recently, because I don't want to steal content too much from other channels. I just simply so I could get the image, because I thought that image looked kind of cool. Right then, so this is from Greg Politic, or Polit. So Pol as in two L's, and it with two T's. Greg Polit, yeah. This is a video, of course, that says right up there at the top, you can read for yourself, but I'll say it anyway. Proof of ghosts, paranormal, nights, evidence compilation. It's evidence at night. Once again, excuse the video quality. I'm recording in very low definition, I'm sure, whereas the original content is also in low definition, so the quality will suffer.
Are there any spirits here? If there are any spirits here, please. We're just here to try to make contact. I mean you no harm. Just give us a sign that you're here.
Come on, get on with it. It's all audio shit. Okay. Oh, this is reaching. Should have picked a better video. But that's their video there. And look at this outline, if they put it back on. I think they will, actually. Let's have another look at that. I'll pause the video properly. So that's your shape. You don't see that in the, plain image, though, do you? Plain image. Is there a shape of a person? No, it looks like there's something there, but you can't really make it out in the dark. It's a very noisy image. I don't know if they're using night vision or what. Looks like they are. Like infrared, I mean. So, yeah, I wouldn't call that very convincing. I prefer to go for images if I can, because I don't want to deal with this electronic noise, voice phenomena. You said electronic noise phenomena. But inevitably, there are some problems with that. Okay. Looks like, I don't know, is that smoke or some kind of edit? It looks like a physical object. Could that be part of a grave? They really rushed through that. Motherfuckers. Stuff played in reverse. Oh, fuck off. I don't know what I'm looking at with this image. The stuff there. Oh, I see it. So it's that. And then they zoom in and enhance it. Sharpening tools and extra contrast, fiddling around with the image to bring it out. And this is what you're left with. It looks a bit like I don't know, almost like the two-headed eagle sort of thing you'd find in, like, Russian symbolism or even Albanian symbolism for that matter. But it's not quite like that, though, is it? It's a bit different. Like a winged thing. So could that be something on the location, in the location, physical? It looks like something physical. Of course, how would you describe something which is non-physical? Technically speaking, if you thought about the physics of the situation. Physical, not solid, because you have solid, liquid, gas, and several bending of the rules in terms of those three factors, but basically something physical. How would you say something is non-physical? Oh, it could be a gas. Well, gas is a matter of, matter, basically. We're not talking purely about some kind of energetic process. So in other words, this is the great excuse back in the day for spiritualism, when they used to say about things manifesting. They formed from an energetic or gaseous form into a material form that they described as ectoplasm, and that formed shapes, but and forms like trumpets and things, or people. But yeah, we don't see any real evidence of that here. So I'll move on to a better video. I feel like I've wasted your time, but let's move on. Well, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I've actually gone to a video, Ghosts of Mississippi, and that's the name of the channel, Ghosts of Mississippi. They compile various videos, and yeah, let's watch the second half of this. I think we watched the first half in one of my previous videos, so let's give it a go. So they're in an abandoned church.
Hello? Hello?
I never thought dragging was very convincing.
What is that? It's walking up here. Shit, I'm gonna fall. Did y'all hear a holler, yell? Oh. Oh, God, 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 God. I ain't talking preaching no more. Golly.
I don't get why this stuff doesn't happen to people who don't believe it, or have some kind of philosophy, religion, spirituality, whatever, that doesn't accept the same concepts and ideas. But those who believe, whether they're, Christian or spiritualist or whatever, many of the beliefs too, Muslims as well, actually, they believe in like jinns and things and other trickster spirits. And obviously pagans and people who believe in nature spirits and the like, they have their own mythologies too. But yeah, they go to a location and they get stuff, and, a bit of a creak or a dragging, they're supposedly in the building on their own, and there might not be. Their friends could be in, and they could just not tell you. There could be other reasons, like, for example, you could have where, say, for example, there's squatters, there's junkies, people crashing there. There could be rats and other vermin, which wouldn't be unexpected in an open, unlocked, worn down, worn out place, you know. Infestations of vermin are quite common in most places to some small degree. And when it comes down to abandoned places, it's a free-for-all. There might not be food around, or perhaps there isn't food, there could be some, but there will be things like rats and rat nests which are left unchecked, which can easily end up with noises, very often underneath the floor. If it's a question of floorboards and there's a basement, or an under area where, say, piping and things are, there's a space for rat nests, you'll end up with rat nests, or perhaps mice and other creatures. So with a lot of these things, just to give my general opinion, although I can't say, hey, I know it's rats, I can say there are more reasonable explanations in saying, you know, is that a demon, or is that a ghost, or a nature spirit, a trickster spirit, a jinn, or whatever. So, or an angel, or whatever, you know. Maybe it's the pastor. Yes, the pastor of this church is come back, and it's like, well, you know, I'm here to preach the word of God, even though I've died and I should have gone to heaven. I'm here to preach. And it's like, well, you know, like I've said before, if it was my afterlife, I wouldn't spend my time trolling random ghost hunters.
I don't know. I don't know. There's stuff getting up all around me on these benches.
I heard some. Whoa!
So banging in another room.
Whoa!
Okay, banging and dragging. With this kind of video, and the people who do this kind of thing, I'm not sure if it's actually the people who are part of a group called Ghosts of Mississippi or what, but these videos made by the same people tend to be in a lot of these compilations, so I'm guessing. I don't really call it anything that's really supernatural. You hear dragging and banging, and it gets called paranormal, but the location where it seems to be coming from, which doesn't seem to be in the room, I could be mistaken. It's unchecked, not controlled. It'd be cool, you know, if, you know, you could have the exits controlled. I mean, that's a great thing about some of these paranormalist shows. At least they go, right, keep the crew outside, keep security outside, no one gets in. Security, like the fire exits are closed, not sealed, but they're closed. And, yeah, basically, you don't have to worry about random human beings being in the wrong place, being where they should not be. And so you can say, well, there was no one in the place. There was no one in the building. Maybe there's some dishonesty in there where they're trying to stage stuff, but largely it seems to be that people who do that kind of thing professionally, like proper paranormal investigators, actually have a backbone, a spine. Like when they've had doors rattling and shaking in Dover Castle, where the building's been sealed off. It's been proper investigation by proper paranormal investigators who have no good reason to lie, or at least I wouldn't say so. And they managed to get something that's quite interesting. Now, what would I call that? It must be a ghost. No. It must be a demon. No. It must be, I don't know, Monty Python's Flying Circus. I don't know. It's unexplained. That's the point you get to. It's like, hey, I could suggest it's this. I could suggest it that. You know, I could suggest it's David Icke's reptilians coming to collect rent. I don't know, but or time travelers from Gallifrey, you know, or time traveling Cybermen or whatever. But yeah, no. The obvious logic is to say, well, I reckon it was something which could not be explained by the phenomena I see around, under investigation, under controlled conditions preferably. I can see another phenomena which caused said event, and so as a result I've got to suggest it's something beyond the normal, aka paranormal, or could be described as supernatural, and is left unexplained. That's the key thing, left unexplained. That's the logic of calling things unexplained. I'm rambling. Let's carry on. We'll get through this, and then we'll move on to the next episode.
It's walking up here.
I didn't actually see an orb then. Was there an orb?
Y'all hear it holler? Yell? Oh. Oh.
Sure if I've seen this one before. A lot of these are very similar, these
It
compilations.
is creepy in here right now. I'm hearing shuffling. What was that?
I didn't really hear that.
Did y'all hear that?
So something isn't very clear, and I suppose if you amplified it, maybe it'd sound a bit more like what it meant to sound like, but I don't know.
Oh, no, 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 go! Yeah! Oh, shit.
Well, that's pretty good. Oh, they're going to do the enhanced audio. I'll play this before I give my response to it.
What was that?
Did that sound like a pig grunt? That sounded more like almost like a squawk. I don't know. Whatever.
Did y'all hear that? Hello? Oh, no, 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 no.
That sounded like the same thing. Like a sort of... Or, you know, I thought it sounded a bit more like a squawk, but it sounded more like an exhalation of breath. It sounded quite human. So, you know, once again, it's going to come down to me kind of dissing the same people doing the same sort of videos. But they say it's proof. It's always in the other room. It's always, you know, hard to detect. Has to be amplified to sound like anything. Could be something quite far away. Seems to be within the building, though. I mean, that's got to be said. Seems to be. And, yeah, it's put down to paranormal. I've heard these people before say, you know, stay away, demon and things. And, oh, we need, you know, think of God, and all this kind of stuff. Or, you know, whatever. It just seems a little bit like jumping to conclusions. But let's get through the rest of this video, and we'll see how it goes on.
Yeah! Oh, shit.
I got to run by it.
Does it catch anything on video?
Oh, God, I don't like that. Hello? Oh,
Because I'm more impressed when you see something.
it sounded like an old man. There it is. Stop! Are y'all hearing this?
That one did sound a bit more like a squeal, didn't it? It's hard to tell, though. Perhaps if they do an enhanced bit on the video, perhaps that will help.
What are y'all hearing? It sounds like an old man. That's too much.
Sounded like a ventilator. Just an exhalation, you know?
I got to run by it. That's in that bathroom. Oh, God, I don't like that. Hello? Oh. It sounded like an old man. There it is. Stop! Are y'all hearing this? What are y'all hearing? It sounds like an old man.
How does that sound like an old man? Or demonic growling? I mean, I don't even know what that means, demonic growling. Unless you've been watching lots of, but you like, I don't know, 1970s horror films maybe, I don't know, whatever. Seems a bit of a weird way of phrasing it. Like there's biases in place, you know? There's a growling of an unidentified kind. You're calling it demonic. What is it?
That's too much.
I gotta wonder if you think something's demonic, whether you or just simply a bad spirit or whatever. If you went to a location you thought you were protected, right? You know, by crystals or by wearing the cross or by having, I don't know, stuffed toads that you wear around your neck on a piece of string, whatever kind of freaky stuff you want to think is protection, because that's the kind of thing that some people have believed in the past. Why would you run away from something? And doesn't fear feed whatever it is? Like strong emotion, if you believe in demons, that means, aren't they meant to feed on your emotions and your weaknesses? So isn't facing your weaknesses the best way of protecting yourself? And if it's a negative spirit, isn't the best thing to do to have a positive view of things? I don't know. I used to be a spiritualist, and I used to be a Christian, and several other things for that matter, but it seems a bit potty to me.
I just lit one. Oh crap. You gotta understand, that's demonic. That's not good. Oh. Hello? Hello? No, I ain't going back in there.
Well, I don't know what that was. It may have been a skinwalker, or it may have been the chupacabra. I don't know, but yeah, it just seems a bit odd to me that this is taken very seriously by people, because you've got to believe that the person making the video is honest, and that his knowledge that he's on his own and not being interrupted by someone who's like trolling him or someone else in the location is also factually correct. And if all those factors are correct, then you've got to account for, what about potential pests? They wouldn't make that noise, would they? Maybe some kind of wild pig? I don't know. Are there wild boar in the US? I don't know. But in any case, yeah, you have to make certain assumptions about the honesty and the correctness of the statements made. And I don't know if I'm really willing to go that far. Interesting though it is as an idea, I just do not know. I personally say, like I've said before, it's effectively in the realm of the unexplained. I can't explain it because I don't have enough data. That's the fundamental. If you don't have enough data to come up with a definite or relatively definite conclusion, that's to say something which is sufficient to say that you have an idea or an understanding of what a thing is, you cannot truly say that you know what a thing actually is. And thus, you have to remain relatively agnostic about the whole affair. But what do I know? You know, could be something more. I just wouldn't know. Let's finish off this vid.
I'm not going back in there.
Hello? No, I ain't going back in there. I'm not going back in there.
Big strong man. Well, I'm a big strong man. You know, you're going to be afraid of breathing, basically. I suppose if you do believe in demons, and demons can do sort of things like they used to do, like what the stories say they used to do with the Old Testament, you know, with the Torah, then yeah, I suppose you would take it very seriously, and you'd want to avoid that kind of shit. If you're a person who believes in folklore about, you know, I don't know, what's it called, the skinwalkers and things like that, you know, and other myths, or if you've read too many things about Slender Man on on social media and spooky websites, then yeah, you're probably going to be freaked out. If a person believes in negative spirits or dark spirit beings and things of that kind, I don't know, maybe you will run away from these things. But if you really want to know, that means you would basically going that direction. I mean, someone might say underneath this video what they reckon it is. Oh, this sounds like a sort of noise a boar might make, or some kind of wild dog might make, or something. Or, I don't know, it could be a deer or whatever, wanders close to or into a building. We don't know the layout of the building. We're given the most basic things. With this compilation, they don't even tell us the location. So if the original uploader can tell me their YouTube channel, I doubt they'll ever see this video. But if they do, that means I'd be glad to do a review on their actual video. And that goes for any of the video content I give my response to, that I review. If I get the original uploader say, hey, check out the original video, you bastard, and I'm like, hey, yes, I will, you bastard, and we'll basically give that a good old review. And if anyone has any recommendations, feel free to let me know.